Hey you! If you're enjoying Skyline REM and want to help make it happen, you can apply to join our backstage team in the description of this video. If you don't have the time or means, don't sweat it. Subscribe, leave a like, and enjoy the video instead.
Just fake it. I only know how to pull myself apart. I never thought I'd go this far, but I pulled the stars. It's over now. Run away, out of time. Find a place where I can never hide. I let it run, change or even stop. Let it burn, I'll never be coming back. 'Cause I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I'm hoping somebody will say losing my mind. Cause I'm losing my mind.
Okay. Oh, it's been a second. Good evening, day, morning. What time is it again? It does not matter. Okay. Okay. You peek into the cathedral hesitantly. Your boots scuff against the pristine floors, and you find yourself once again feeling out of place. You crane your neck to look up at the vaulted ceiling in awe. Whoa. You wander through the entrance hall and into the chapel proper. You almost stumble into a couple of the pews on your way. You squeak in surprise and stabilize yourself by holding your arms out horizontally. You sweat a bit as you look around, making sure no one just watched you. I'm good. You know, where the heck is... What are you doing here? A female's voice snaps in your direction. You whip around to stare at a young woman. Another priestess? She's dressed modestly in black robes and black gloves. There's a white, frilled collar around her neck and shoulders, secured with a golden chain and pendant in the shape of a star. She has a dark brown corset around her bust and waist. Long pastel pink hair cascades around her in aggressive curls, and there's a stern and suspicious glare peering out past her bangs. Well, I won't ask again, she asserts. She puffs up her chest to try and appear larger and more intimidating. Sorry, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I'm just looking for someone. The cathedral is still undergoing some restoration following the High Priestess's rumination, the priestess explains. Therefore, I doubt whoever you're looking for is here. However, she cuts herself off to consider you fully. Wait. You're that silver-eyed dread everyone's been talking about, aren't you? The one who spoke with the High Priestess. Yep, that's me. The priestess turns red in embarrassment. I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize you. I thought you were just some random civilian. The High Priestess welcomes you and all other travelers into the Cathedral of Unity. She bows her head. May I ask, who were you looking for in the chapel today? Another priestess, actually. Do you know London? The priestess's expression falters. Oh, London Remington, Her tone becomes sour and hateful. What would someone like you want with someone like her? I wanted to invite her out with me. Is that a problem? What's with that face? It's nothing. But are you sure that you want to invite her? There's no other priestess you'd rather speak with? When you don't budge on your stance, she sighs. Of course not. It's always London Remington. The priestess motions towards the back of the church. She's cleaning up near the confessionals in the very back, behind the sanctuary. Right. Thanks. You give the priestess a strange look before moving past her. She watches you go carefully and rolls her eyes, a disappointed scoff escaping her throat as you leave. That was weird. Alright. It doesn't matter, we just press on. Okay, behind the sanctuary. That's that place, right? The big elevated area right next to the statue. There's something behind that? Confessionals? Alright, whatever. We just gotta get back over there. Huh. Hey guys, how are you doing? Are we having a good day today? I think I am. Or at least I'm hoping so. I've got plans for this one. Well, more like I got given plans that I'm going to use to have plans. Alright, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see, right? Oh, this must be it! London! The priestess stands behind the sanctuary of the chapel, a broom in her hand. She elegantly sweeps the glittering floors beneath her, and she collects a pile of dust and dirt in the center of the floor. She hums as she works, and you find yourself enraptured by her work. Your heels clatter against the floor as she finishes cleaning inside a couple of small cubicles built into the back of the sanctuary. You shake your head to clear your mind and focus on the task at hand again. London! There you are! She looks up at you and smiles. Ah, good morning, Rex, she says. You seem to be in good spirits. Yeah, you could say that. She sets the broom aside by propping it up against a wall. She steps over the pile of dust and dirt before brushing herself off in front of you. My apologies. I probably look like a mess with all of this cleaning. The confessionals tend to get quite dirty. Confessionals? She motions to the cubicles in the back of the sanctuary. Those two stalls there, she points them out. They're called confessionals. They're a way for civilians like you to ask for advice from a priestess, or to confess their unfortunate circumstances. She brushes a piece of hair out of her eyes. But needless to say, they end up collecting dust when they're not being actively used. Advice, huh? You playfully enter the side of the confessional and sit down. So, what? People just sit here and talk? Like this? More or less, although you're sitting where the priestess would sit. A civilian would go in the other stall. She walks into the other half and seats herself to copy you. London clasps her hands in her lap and smirks. Like this. Have anything you want to confess? Only my curiosity to your visit, she admits. What brings you here, Rex? I wanted to invite you out with me. You mean like a date? She mumbles under her breath quietly. A what? Nothing! She snaps loudly as she shakes her head. What's the occasion? Lila gave you some extra tickets to attend a jousting tournament. I was gonna invite Alice, but she said she wasn't interested, which I probably should have seen coming now that I think about it. So you came to me as your second best option. Huh? What? No way! Why did I even mention the first part? You murmur under your breath as you take a step out of the confessional and peek into her stall. I want to go with you. I think it'd be fun. I've never been to a jousting tournament before. They're certainly interesting. What? Oh? You've been to one before? She stands up and nods. That's right, but only the one. I was invited to a tournament a while ago. It was a fine enough spectacle. And of course, the talent of the participants cannot be understated, but it's not particularly my cup of tea. Your ear twitches slightly. And I'm not the biggest fan of Lavender Terrace. So, is that a yes or a no? Am I allowed to consider the question for some time? Well, the tournament kind of starts in 20 minutes. 20 minutes? And you're asking me now? Why are you only asking me now? Surprise? I can't possibly attend on such short notice. I still have more duties to tend to in the chapel, not to mention... Come on, London. It'll be a blast, I promise. It's not that I doubt you. She waves her hands in front of her. I'm simply not sure if this is the best idea. Why not? Because... She looks around for something. Because look at all the dust I have to clean off the floor. It would be unseemly for me to leave it here. You look down at the dust pile, and then back up at her with a shrug. I mean, you're the one who did the sweeping. Oh, why can't another priestess clean it up? She groans as her logic fails to reason with your conviction. Oh, for unity's sake. I won't be able to convince you otherwise, will I? Not really. Of course. She hangs her head in defeat. You're quite persistent. It's almost impressive how stubborn you can be. That's not to say persistence is an innately bad thing. She gulps and swallows back her words. Fine. I'll go with you to the tournament if it means that much to you. Yes! This is gonna be awesome! You bump her shoulder with yours. You won't regret this, London, I promise! You beam at her. Her cheeks flush and she laughs. I certainly hope not. She glances up towards the tall windows of the cathedral. We should get going before it's late. Lavender Terrace is quite the walk from here. Shoot, you're right. Alright, let's get going then. Come on! Alrighty. Now we have to walk all the way over to Lavender Terrace, which is on the other end of the city, but like in a different direction. Instead of like, long ways, it's more like sideways. Or something. Yeah. Okay, we should probably meet up with the others before we get there, too. Let's see. I think it was this fountain. Oh! There's some people here. These aren't the people I'm looking for, though. Those are the people I'm looking for! Lily!
Right,
We made it!
hey!
I'm not late, right?
Welcome. No, we haven't been waiting.
Oh. Rex, I'm starting to think that this wasn't the wisest idea. London immediately hesitates. She smiles awkwardly and moves back in the direction of the chapel.
Is that the High Priestess in training?
Lydia raises an eyebrow.
I didn't expect to see her out here.
She's my +1!
You have a priestess as a +1?
Luke exclaims in surprise.
Well, it's good to see you're doing well after the golem competition, London. I didn't get a chance to thank you for your help with the Geo stuff.
It was my pleasure, really. London waves her hand dismissively at Lily. But if you don't mind, I think I should get going. What? No way! You came out this far, right? Look, I told you, this'll be fun. Surely you have other friends you could ask to go with you? I wouldn't want to cause you any trouble. Why would you cause us trouble? Besides, you were fine just a couple minutes ago at the cathedral. That was before we actually got here, and I saw the crowd. Aiden stares at London in shock.
A priestess came to watch me in a tournament? Oh, gods. Hey, just breathe, Aiden. You're gonna do great, okay?
London groans and hangs her head. How are you all so good at making me feel bad for wanting to leave?
Don't worry, priestess. I'm pretty nervous to attend a tournament with a bunch of nobility, too. I just hope I don't embarrass myself or my team. Hey, you're not gonna do that, Luke. As far as I can tell, nobility aren't that different from everyone else in the city. They can just be a little more reclusive. That's one word for them.
I met a ton of nobles, and for the most part, they're pretty nice. But the rest of them are Vincent and super annoying.
Who?
Just don't worry about it. You hear distant cheers echoing through Lavender Terrace.
Oh, gods! We're gonna be late. Let's get to the arena quickly. I still have to sign in and get all my stuff together and finish preparing for the match. And okay, in that case, less talking and more moving. We can get there if we just move.
Yeah,
Hustle,
come on,
hustle,
get
lead the way.
confident, man. You're gonna win this thing. It's just him, right? He's your jousting friend.
Yeah. No worries. All right.
Rex looks around at the bustling crowds of the arena in awe. London's jaw tightens behind him, but she keeps her head held high.
Oh my gods. This place is a lot bigger than I imagined. Really?
Aiden tilts his head in confusion.
It's not that much bigger than your average jousting arena. Yeah, but we don't frequent jousting arenas like you do, Aiden. I don't frequent them either. I just visit this one often enough to the point where it's not all that impressive to me. That's all.
Lydia rests her hands behind her head.
Kind of reminds me of a bigger version of our training grounds. Except with horses. So, nothing like our training grounds?
Lily stares at her with a deadpan expression.
Yeah.
Lydia slowly nods in agreement. What do you think, London? It's fine. But I can agree with your friends that when you see something monumental on a daily basis, everything else around you starts to become plain. I guess that's fair. After all, you live in the cathedral. That place is huge!
I've never even been to a cathedral.
Luke mutters. You can tell by the look in his eyes that he's starting to feel self-conscious about his lack of experience.
Maybe we can take you over there sometime. The island is open after all. That sounds like it could be fun.
Aiden smiles. However, his attention's stealing away from your group as a great deal of commotion occurs in the center of the arena. Several young men and women gather in the ring to speak with a guard in full armor. Aiden jumps.
Oh my gods, I'm so late. I have to go and sign in before the entire tournament starts. Good luck, Aiden. We'll be in the stands watching you. Don't say it like that! This is gonna make me even more nervous. I don't want to fail you guys. You're not gonna fail us. You'll do a great job, okay? And if you do mess up, we're all gonna be there to watch it happen. Not helpful.
You got this, dude! Aiden waves at you all awkwardly as he tries to conceal his worry. He turns away and rushes to the center of the arena to speak with the guard and the other contestants. Lydia turns back to you all.
I think that went pretty well. No thanks to you.
You're not the most supportive individual, are you?
I'm plenty supportive. I just don't believe in being fake with anyone.
London's face mildly contorts at this statement. So, what now?
We have some time before they start the tournament. We could probably try looking around and mingling until then.
Mingling? Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're fine. Mingling with nobles? No way. I'm not dressed properly for that, and I don't even know what to say. What if I mess up?
Nobles are just fancier, normal people. They don't bite, I think.
Yeah, come on, you guys. It'll be fine.
Alrighty. We should find a good seat. What? I have to hike myself up. Are you laughing at me for hiking myself
I'm
up?
sorry. I don't think London had any issue with that like you did. I watched. She climbed up easy peasy.
It was a manly grunt to help me get up faster.
Yeah, sure.
You're mean to me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, it was very manly. It was very manly.
You notice a small group of students, based on the look of their uniforms. They're gathered around the back of the stands, muttering to one another.
I've heard there are a lot more people that are making bets this year.
That makes sense. With all the awakening stuff, I'll bet a lot of the nobles are getting stressed out and need a distraction. Nothing says distraction more than gambling your money.
I wish I had enough wealth to feel comfortable gambling at a jousting tournament. Ugh, student loans are horrible. I think you dodged a bullet. I've been to a couple of these tournaments now, and I see a ton of people fighting over their earnings after the winners are announced. You don't want to deal with that sort of thing.
You got a point.
If you ask me, seeing the fights outside the arena are usually more entertaining than the jousting itself. Says you. I'd much rather watch our peers ride on the horses than a couple of old guys push each other around over a couple of copper.
Huh.
Oh.
Gambling? People placing bets?
I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's
I
kind of
wish
like
I had
horse
the spare
racing.
change on me. That could be cool and fun.
But didn't you just hear anything that they said?
An elegant woman sits with a posse of young noble girls. She has a book in her lap and a lacy hat atop her head. Rex recognizes this woman as Lady Edith, the owner of the library. A couple of the younger girls speak up over the crowd.
I heard that a great deal of cute boys are participating this year. Of course you're in it to oogle. Laugh at it all you'd like, but my father says it's because I have a refined taste. What about you, Lady Edith? Why did you choose to attend the jousting tournament today?
Oh, the woman ponders her answer. Nothing quite as exciting as you girls. I'm just doing a bit of research. I've always been fascinated by these sort of events. Lady Edith brings a hand to her mouth and mutters quietly to herself. I think such a tournament would make a great addition to my next book.
What did you say? I didn't hear you, my lady.
She waves her hand at the young girl quickly as she giggles. I didn't say anything. Carry on with your conversation, all right? Huh.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I knew that
Especially after
lady.
seeing-
She runs the library. I helped fetch
Oh,
books for her
really?
one time.
Well, that's
Oh, is that
cool.
Trixie?
Huh?
Trixie
Hey!
speaks with a couple of random nobles, a huge grin on her face. She places her hands on her hips haughtily. I have nothing to be afraid of, she replies to something one of the men told her. I'm confident in my choice. You can't be serious, Miss Simmons. That contestant has participated in every jousting tournament and they haven't won a single time. What makes you think that this year will be any different? Ye of little faith. She shakes her head in disappointment. I know a winner when I see one. In fact, I'm willing to go all in if you are. Fine then. What is it you want if you're right? What don't I want? There's a new handbag imported from Gaia that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Or maybe that gorgeous purple tunic I saw the other day from Bastios. Oh, but then I might lose out on the necklace with that glittery centerpiece from Olden. Hold on, Miss Simmons. We haven't even discussed what I get if you're wrong. I won't be wrong, so what's the point in doing that? It's only fair, don't you think? Besides, I'd rather know in advance what I'm supposed to ask your father for when you lose our bet. You know what? She seems to be deep in that negotiation. I'll leave her be. Guess that means you're not sitting next to her. Excuse us. There are a lot of people here.
There really is.
Oh, there are even
Oh, wow,
guards.
this must be pretty close to the castle, too.
A couple of off-duty guards are standing near the rails that divide the stands from the rest of the arena. I got my bets placed on that new girl from Westlake, one of them says. People down there are great horse riders. You gotta have some good control of your mount if you want to win.
I don't know. I've heard good things from a couple of the boys from the university.
Right, they got some great training courses over there. They teach you how to improve your grip strength and your hand-eye coordination. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. The first starts placing their hands on their hips.
Looks like it. Either way, I'm excited.
Do you remember when we used to participate in these kinds of things? Good times.
Says you. You always won.
Hey, I almost didn't win that one time. Westlake, think that's a village?
I don't know. You're doing great.
Hey,
That wasn't sarcasm. That was genuine appreciation.
as you continue to explore, Rex finds himself bumping into a particularly tall individual as the crowds swell and become more hectic. He squeaks in surprise as he starts to fall forward. London places her hands on his back to help support him as he straightens back up. He rubs the back of his head and gives an apologetic nod to the individual. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking where I was. However, his voice gets cut off in his throat as he stares up at none other than Conrad. Lily immediately pushes past Rex and narrows her eyes at the man.
Conrad? What are you doing here?
I'm not allowed to attend an Erewhon tournament. It's rather convenient that they schedule one right after mine. Don't tell me your kingdom has stooped to stealing golems and ideas.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you're not sitting behind bars for what you did.
What I did? He raises an eyebrow. And what did I do, exactly?
You shoved your hand through Geo's chest and then took his mithril core.
My mithril core. I graciously handed over the golem, as per our agreement. But as I said before, that didn't give you a right to the core. He places his hands on his hips. So, really, I didn't do anything wrong. I was acting entirely within Erewhon law. He glances between each of you and massages his temple. I don't see why you're keen on trying to start something with me. It's not a good look to harass an olden diplomat. And don't you think that your country has enough problems as it is? Why try to create more issues for it to solve? What do you mean? He leans down. Erewhon is lucky to still be standing after everything it's had to deal with these past couple of months. The awakening has made this country weak. It's a crippled kingdom, a shell of what it once was. I can tell you with certainty that everyone outside these walls has noticed, and they're looking to take advantage of it.
Even you?
Me? Personally, no. He shakes his head and straightens up. I've done my fair share of exploiting already. I see where that got me. I've already had to give away a military-grade golem to your researchers.
Yeah, well, Geo's in much better hands now.
Wonderful to hear. If you're not here to explore the kingdom, then why are you still in Erewhon? Because I'm quite interested in watching it all unfold. I'm going to wager a guess and say that there are way more issues in Erewhon than people like you have solutions for. When things start to fall apart around you, then I'll be here to watch with front row seats. I don't even have to do anything!
So you really are a coward. Fenris was right.
It's not cowardly to watch your opponent wither away before your eyes. It's clever. And it's less hassle. No need to be sore losers.
Says you? But
Suddenly a horn plays from the arena. You glance into the track below and watch a number of guards walk out to place weapon racks on either end. A couple of horses whinny behind wooden gates, stomping their hooves against the dirt in anticipation. Conrad sighs. Looks like the tournament's about to begin. If you'll excuse me. He brushes himself off and leaves the scene. Lily growls.
I hate people like him.
Yeesh, I didn't even think he still stuck around. I don't know why I assumed he'd just leave after that whole fiasco.
He's pretty bold to show his face around here.
Well, whatever. The competition, and it's gonna be cool, or something to that effect.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice scans the center of the arena for Aiden excitedly.
Let's just let me know if you guys see him, okay? It's too crowded. I can't make out anyone down there.
I probably have all the contestants line up in the middle before the rounds begin. Then we're bound to see him at some point, no worries.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Lily nods her head. She starts to tear her gaze away before a flash of green steals her attention. She double takes and looks back down towards the color, only for her eyes to widen.
Wait a second. What?
Her eyes lock on Fern, who walks casually through the crowds with his hands behind his back and a sneaky grin on his face. Rex follows her gaze and gasps. Oh, come on! What the heck is he doing here?
Obviously nothing good. Why else would he show up his face in a place like this? Do you think the Silverwings are gonna mess with the tournament? Should we go up and stop him?
Calm down. You're going to cause a disturbance if you don't try to think rationally.
What's there to think? He's a Silverwing.
And a jerk. I hear you. But you don't know if he's even done anything wrong here. He might be here simply to watch the tournament like anyone else.
I doubt it. That guy has nothing but trouble.
Rex hesitates. London does have a point, though. We can't make assumptions.
Well, it's not an assumption. It's a read of his character. Don't you remember when we followed him around that one day? He scammed innocent people out of money. Yeah, he also fixed a wagon, though. And it's not a crime to charge for your work. Well, yeah, but okay, it's a crime to commit fraud. Especially fraud on poor elderly women trying to make some extra money.
I suppose you're just going to ignore the fact that you just admitted to stalking. London's ears droop in disappointment. In that case, I will just keep a close eye on him during the tournament. Lily groans in frustration.
Fine. Close eye it is. But if he steps even a millimeter out of line, I'm gonna take him down.
Oh dear. Don't worry, this is normal. I don't know if I find that concerning or comforting.
Oh, hey! I think the first round is about to start.
The crowd cheers as Aiden and another young man enter the ring on horseback. Aiden narrows his eyes at his opponent carefully. Luke stands up and claps for him excitedly.
Let's go, Aiden! You got this!
Lily tears her gaze away from Fern as he continues to cut through the stands, instead focusing on supporting Aiden.
Woo! Let's go, Aiden!
Isn't this awesome? I've heard of people jousting, but I've never seen it for myself. This is...
Lily, is it just me, or is everyone looking at us?
What do you mean? I don't think it's at all of us.
You look around the arena in confusion as you become more and more aware of the eyes locked on your group. Lily glances in London's direction carefully in an attempt to follow everyone else's gaze. What the heck are they looking at?
I think they're looking at London.
London? Rex looks over at her. She stares back at him blankly, her brow mildly furrowed. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Lily mutters. She glances over at the people around your group before choosing one at random and tapping on them on the shoulder.
Excuse me?
Civilian looks back. However, upon seeing the members of your party, their expression turns sour, and they scoff.
Sorry, but could you tell
Before
us
they answer you, they immediately turn and Before the civilian answers you, they immediately turn away and ignore you. Riley blinks in surprise.
What's your problem, huh?
Let me try. Rex jumps in. Similarly, he taps on a person's shoulder and asks them the same question. Hello. Have you noticed a lot of people looking over at us? Do you notice why? Just like with Lily, they grumble something under their breath and turn away from Rex. Man, what's the deal?
Is something wrong? Everyone in the arena is staring at us. Specifically at London.
Lydia blinks in confusion.
Well, duh. After that article came out this morning, I'd be looking at the High Priestess in training too. What? The what now?
Article?
You guys didn't see it?
Lydia
It
tilts
was
her
on the
head.
front. It was on the front page of the paper. I think I kept my copy somewhere.
Lydia starts to fumble through her pockets for the paper. She manages to find it and pull it out with minimal tearing and shredding.
Here.
Let me see that. Rex quickly snatches it away to read over the article in question. Everyone else leans over to look over his shoulder. The article reads as follows. Cathedral of Unity, fame or fraudulence? For years, the Cathedral of Unity has been considered a center of divine wisdom and purity. The priestesses serve the goddess, Unity, diligently, and civilians have complete access to the knowledge and insight of the High Priestess herself. However, do we really have the full story? What if there was more to the cathedral than meets the eye? The Cathedral of Unity may not be as honest as you believe, with mystery and secrecy looming in every dark corner. The High Priestess Reyna Wittenberg is praised for being intelligent and patient, but she's really a fool and highly naive, placing those with undocumented backgrounds in positions of power without reason. Case in point, her High Priestess in training, London Remington. According to the Latona Registry, the young white wolf animan has no existing citizenship in the kingdom, and no documentation of her existence. It's as though she just appeared out of thin air. Convenient, isn't it? That this woman who decided to arrive in the kingdom at the same time as the awakening. What do we really know about our High Priestess in training? Perhaps she's a member of the Elacrim Edict, who seeks the destruction of our kingdom's light presence. Perhaps she's from the Kingdom of Olden, who similarly desires our downfall and has recently started to infiltrate our city with the Tournament of Lies. Or perhaps she's a Silverwing, who seeks the valuable jewels and goods that remain in the sanctuary of the cathedral. What? Unfortunately, we'll never know for certain, but we can stay aware of this issue and remain skeptical. Are we right to follow the High Priestess and trust her judgment? It's likely Reyna's intuition has only worsened over time. This could be the end of the Kingdom of Erewhon at the hands of our aristocracy's own ineptitude. Rex's hands crumple the paper in rage. That's so stupid! London seems at a loss for words until Rex interjects. She blinks out of her thoughts and looks up at him. Rex, it's all right. Well, how can this be all right? This is total baloney!
Who the heck would even publish something like this? And why didn't you say anything sooner, Lydia? I just assumed you already saw it. Don't start taking your anger out on me.
This is horrible. How could someone even write something so wrong? They have plenty of reasons to be skeptical of me. It's fine. For now, why don't we just focus on the tournament and... Forget the tournament! This is more important! You and Reyna are not frauds! She stares at you with a conflicted expression before sighing. People can think whatever they want to think, Rex. You can't stop them. Yeah, I can prove them wrong. Lily hesitates as she looks between the paper and the arena below.
And for it to be on the front page? That seems almost intentional.
Suddenly, her eyes widen.
He wouldn't have. What's wrong, Wiley? You don't think Ashford did this as revenge, do you?
I don't know. If it was him, guess I wouldn't be surprised. It seems like the kind of thing he'd do, doesn't it?
That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, how did he even know to write something like this? Where did he get the idea from?
Why don't we ask him and find out? I've got some choice words for him!
Aiden. Don't worry about Aiden. The article's a huge deal. This could affect the entire chapel if someone doesn't correct this misinformation. Just go, okay? Lydia and I will catch Aiden up when the match is over. We will?
Lydia raises an eyebrow. Luke immediately elbows her.
Okay, yeah, we will. Thanks. Thank you, you guys. You're the best.
Lydia looks back at London and Rex.
Ashford should be at the printing press around now. Let's just go to him and figure this out before we jump to any conclusions.
I don't think there are that many conclusions to jump to. This is an obvious attack against London's character, which is completely ridiculous! London just sighs at Rex's statement. She seems to have more to say, but she remains quiet.
Then, let's just move out and get to the bottom of it. Alright?
Stupid dummy, jerk, meanie, poopy head.
I don't get why anyone would do something like that to London. I hope the rest of the match goes alright. But this is more important. We're gonna get to the bottom of this, okay?
And what did we even do to him that was that bad?
We didn't. I mean, I had a rivalry with him, but that's all it was. He won out, so it doesn't matter. Plus, frankly, we didn't even part on that bad terms.
Two-faced jerk. What other insults can I come up with? I need something that bites harder than poopy head. Where's the printing press again? I'm kind of just walking right now.
Oh, okay. It's in the square.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Great,
You're
then
not
it's
that
right
far off,
here!
actually.
I don't even need to try
Yeah.
to stay angry that long!
You,
Where is it?
it's over here. I've been here so many times. In here.
Ah!
That's not how you open!
Lily rushes into the printing press in a rage. Rex jogs after her hesitantly. Lily, are we sure the direct approach is the play here? The employees look up at both of you in confusion. Evelyn, the woman behind the desk, jumps in surprise.
Lily, what are you doing here? Where's Ashford?
Before Evelyn has the chance to answer, Ashford walks down the stairs into the room.
Evelyn, do you have any extra ink for the...
He freezes as Lily rushes toward him and grabs him by the collar of his shirt.
Ah!
He shrieks in alarm. A number of the employees stand in alarm. London walks forward quickly and places a hand on Lily's shoulder. Lily, you don't have to do this. Stop. It's fine.
You've got a lot of explaining to do, Ashford. Explaining? What are you even talking about? Why did you write that article about the Cathedral of Unity?
It's not a big deal. Just leave the young man alone. London massages her temples. You're blowing this whole ordeal out of proportion.
Yeah, well, he's trying to call the entire chapel into question. If anything, I'm reacting pretty calm given the circumstances.
Rex walks up to Ashford as well. I thought we were cool, man. What's the deal?
I seriously have no idea why either of you are talking about. I never wrote an article about the Cathedral of Unity.
Rex blinks at him for a moment. He and Lily slowly glance at one another in confusion. You didn't?
No! Why would I write something like that? What kind of reporter do you take me for? What, the kind that will manipulate anything into an entertaining story?
He glares at her.
Glad to see you have so much faith in me, Lily. It's not like I've written about a dozen truth articles over the past couple of months. How could you get off of me? Oh, now could you get off of me? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Lily drops Ashford as she still tries to process this new information. Ashford brushes himself off.
If you doubt me, you can check my desk. I should have the rough draft of the article that I submitted for the front page today. I reported on the Golem tournament the other day in your victory against Olden.
Rex narrows his eyes. I didn't see that article anywhere in today's paper.
What?
Ashford snaps his head towards Rex in confusion.
No, Rex is right. I don't think the Golem tournament was included at all.
Ashford glances around the area before snatching a copy of today's paper off of Evelyn's desk. He skims over the words before his eyes go wide.
What the heck is this?
You mean you didn't even know about the article?
Of course I didn't. I wouldn't write something like this. How would I even come up with this? It's entirely accurate.
A female's voice rings out throughout the printing press as a door behind you all closes. The employees who were previously watching the mayhem unfold quickly look back down at their desks to continue their work. Lily's heart sinks into her stomach.
Oh no.
You all turn around to see Carly Mercer walking toward you, her hands behind her back.
I'm almost insulted to think you would assume that a novice reporter could produce such an engaging piece. Miss Mercer, what happened to my article? Well, it wasn't good enough to make the front page. It was contrived and boring. The public doesn't need to know about some ridiculous Olden contest. What they need to know is the truth.
But what about this is truth to you? You seriously think London's some evil person with ulterior motives? You don't even know her!
Precisely. I don't know her. No one knows her. Surely you've read the article since you've decided to cause a big fuss about it.
London avoids looking at Carly.
Why would you publish that? I felt it was necessary for the people of Erewhon to understand just how naive they were to blindly trust these priestesses.
The priestesses are here to help people!
Not according to my anonymous tip. Your what? I received a tip the other night that brought up some good points. How can we be so certain that Raina Wittenberg or London Remington can be trusted? How did the High Priestess appoint someone with no history, no background as her apprentice? It doesn't make any sense. I did my research and presented my concerns. I did what I do best with the information I gathered. End of story. If you're going to be mad at anyone, and then why don't you take out your frustration on the one who gave me the tip in the first place? Don't shoot the messenger.
Ashford stares at her in horror.
This is the Cathedral of Unity we're talking about, Miss Mercer. Looking for an interesting story is one thing, but betraying the center of the kingdom's faith in unity? Did you even consider the backlash? What's done is done, Abraham, and I stand by what I wrote. You're even worse than I thought you were. That's
Carly
And
rolls her
nothing-
eyes at Lily.
enough with the hysterics. Or histrionics. It's starting to grow old with you travelers. And now I have a great deal of more work to finish, as does the rest of my printing press. Get out before I call the guards to escort you.
London's ears droop and she clears her throat. Rex, Lily, let's leave. There's no point in staying here. London, please. I'd rather we not cause a bigger scene than we already have. Okay. Silently, London leaves the printing press. You both follow after her in defeat, while Carly barks orders to the rest of her staff within. Ashford hesitates, and eventually chooses to rush after you.
For unity's sake, Lily, wait up!
He calls as you exit the building.
Great.
That sucks. Lyon kicks a pebble outside of the printing press in anger. London groans and massages her temples. This is not how I hoped I would enjoy my day, she admits, although she still seems rather calm.
Tell me about it.
Ashford mutters under his own breath. He looks back at the printing press and crosses his arms.
Miss Mercer has gone way too far this time.
Why did you follow us out, Ashford?
I'm not so bad that I'd sit back and let a woman talk and walk her way all over the Cathedral of Unity. Believe it or not, I'm pretty faithful to the goddess myself, and I intend to keep it that way. Good to know. I guess we could actually use your help in this situation. Well, you won't get your evidence against Carly's article published otherwise.
Where do we even start from here? Rex opens his mouth to continue, but he's interrupted as 3 individuals approach your group. Lydia, Luke, and Aiden pant as they finally catch up with you. Aiden has a silver medal around his neck.
Sorry for taking so long. We tried to leave as soon as we could, but we had to wait for the awards ceremony to end. Don't worry about it.
Lily shakes her head before staring at Aiden.
Aiden, did you win the tournament? It was pretty close. Apparently too close to call. So they made Aiden and his opponent both the winners. That's amazing, Aiden.
He smiles and shrugs his shoulders.
It's something. I can't say I was expecting this. Either way, I did my best, and that's what matters.
He glances between everyone.
Luke and Lydia caught me up on the issue at hand. Who the heck would write an article like that? Carly Mercer herself. I'd love to be able to celebrate your win, but this, I get it. This is more important right now. Don't worry, I understand.
Hang on. London. Rex turns to London, who perks up at the sound of his voice. Carly said you didn't have any kind of background, and that's why people shouldn't trust you. You can blow all those accusations out of the water if you just tell her where you're from. London turns pale. Her tail shifts between her legs subtly, and she looks at the ground. I can't.
Why not?
I don't think that would fix anything. There's silence for a moment as you all glance at one another. Lydia cuts in.
Wait, so are you actually a cultist?
No! London shakes her head. I'm not a cultist.
Oh, okay.
Lydia nods. Again, there's silence.
A Silverwing then?
Of course she's not! Rex turns to London. You're not, right? I'm not a Silverwing.
Then, what are you? Why did you come to Arrowin? Where did you live before?
I can't tell you that. I won't.
It looks like we're back to square one. If London doesn't want to talk, then we can try a more direct approach. If Carly Mercer got an anonymous tip, then let's just try to figure out who sent it in to her so we can get the tipper to admit that they lied.
But who would have it in for London? She didn't do anything wrong. Led considers the question before her expression lights up.
Hmm. Fern.
What? Fern?
Think about it. Why else would we have seen him at the jousting tournament? There's no way it could be a coincidence. Every time we've seen Fern, he was up to something. I knew we should have confronted him. That stupid guy. Wait, we don't know that he did this one for certain. Why would he want to target London? Well, because London always hangs around Rex.
Miley motions to the two of them. London's fur stands on end. I'd hardly call it always. We've only formally spoken on a few occasions.
That doesn't matter. You guys are friends and Fern wants to ruin it.
She slams her fist into her palm.
Now all we have to do is find him and...
Wait a second. Even if it was Fern, he's not just going to admit to doing it. And even if he did, someone like Carly Mercer wouldn't believe him.
That silver-eyed dread has a point. Once Miss Mercer sinks her teeth into a story, she doesn't let go unless she's forced to let it go. That usually means proving her points false and making her backstep to retain her image.
Well, we'll just have to disprove the tip first. But we'll have to do it in a way that London doesn't have to give away her backstory, since she's not going to talk about that, apparently. I'm sorry, Rex, but I assure you that it's for the better this way. That's fine, London. We can manage without.
So, how do you propose we start? We just find some Edict member and ask if they know who she is? We want to wander around the city in search of Silverwings? We can't confirm her identity?
Well, surely it's not that easy.
There's one person we could try and talk to. Didn't that guy at the tournament say he was from Molden? The one named Conrad? We can ask if he came to Erewhon with London, or if he recognizes her in any way. That can confirm if she came from Molden or not. Good luck getting that guy to talk. He's just as bad as the Silverwings.
It's definitely a tricky one. But maybe we can convince him to help us out. He did say he wasn't interested in causing more trouble for Erewhon.
I guess if you guys are so sure, then yeah, we can try it. But I still think we should just skip and go to Fern. We don't know where Fern is. Meanwhile, I think I saw Conrad at the arena still when Lydia, Aiden, and I were leaving.
Better than nothing.
The arena, you say? Alright then. That's where you're heading. Give me a minute to gather up my things. I can meet you there.
Sounds like a plan. Back we go.
Back to the arena.
Oh crap, which way is it?
This way.
You sure?
I am positive. Plus, I don't want to waste any time. We're gonna
Man,
meet up
really,
with
this is a
Conrad. We have to make sure.
Nulo. This is such an uncool thing to do to someone.
I know. Which is why I still think it's Fern. Who is that mean and petty to do something like that? We haven't met anyone else like that before.
Carly's mean and petty.
Yeah, but she got a tip from someone. Who else is mean and petty?
Conrad's
she
mean
doesn't
and
care.
petty, but I guess yeah.
He already said he doesn't want to cause trouble. Doesn't mean he's gonna help us now, but...
You know, you're right. When it comes to a list of jerks, Fern's definitely on the top.
Number one always is that little green... Ah! He wouldn't have just been there for no reason.
I guess.
Do feel bad for assuming it was Ashford. Not my brightest moment.
I don't know why I didn't think Carly immediately either.
That's fair. Kinda had all her sticky fingerprints all over it.
Yeah. And I guess she does have it in for us, so... For whatever reason.
I kinda told her off when I quit.
And why doesn't she like me again? First time I ever talked to her, she was just mean.
She's like that to everyone.
What a meanie.
Yeah, tell me about it.
At least it's somewhat refreshing that it's not personal. Ashford's here.
Yeah.
Ashford meets you all outside the arena. He has his trusty clipboard and quill in hand.
I can already tell this is going to be a long day. So, I'd prefer if we kept our interviews quick.
No promises, but we can try.
It'll take as long as we need to get answers. Right. Fine then, have it your way.
He motions for you all to enter the arena before him. Ashford trails behind your posse. Alright. Crap, where was he? We ran into him over here. Seems like there's still a couple people around.
I guess some like to linger.
No, no. You see him anywhere?
No, still looking. Thought he was over here, then again, wouldn't really make sense for him to not move at all, I guess.
Oh, there!
Huh!
Looks like he's talking to a couple people. You and your group reapproach the gates of the jousting arena. There are several workers who struggle to clean up all the trash left behind by onlookers. A small handful are escorting the stallions back to the Constella farmlands, while various others pick up stray weapons and move the racks out of the open.
Dang, they clean up fast.
Lydia says as she crosses her arms.
Not the point right now.
Eileen scans the departing crowds for any sign of Conrad. Eventually, she manages to spot him lingering near the back of the stands. He's speaking with a couple of other men and trading pouches of coins. How did you know it would be that young man? He seemed far too fragile to survive the first round. One man argues against Conrad. Olden's quite a wealthy kingdom, my good man. I know a moneymaker when I see one. Now, we agreed on 1 silver, correct? Fine, the man concedes. He passes Conrad a single silver coin.
He's up there. Come on.
Conrad flips the coin up into the air before catching it in his opposite hand. He waves the arrow and nobleman away, clearly pleased with himself. You enjoy the rest of your days, gentlemen. It was a pleasure doing business with you, he says as the men depart. Your group approaches him quickly, just as he turns to leave. When you block his path, he frowns. Oh, great. He massages his temples. What do you want this time? We just had a question for you, really quick. No, I'm not going to make any more deals with you people. Do you have nothing better to do than to scam me out of my coin?
We're not here for that.
Luke shakes his head quickly.
We just want to know if you're aware of who this is.
Luke motions to London. She stares at Conrad suspiciously. He blinks in confusion. You're asking if I know who the High Priestess in training is? More like do you know her from before she was the High Priestess in training? Conrad gives you all a strange look. Why should I answer that?
Because the Cathedral of Unity's reputation is on the line.
And why do I care about the Cathedral of Unity? He raises an eyebrow. I don't know if our last conversation didn't spell it out for you kids, but I'm not one of you magic-loving heroin hippies. And thank goodness for that. Lily pauses at his word choice.
You hate magic that much?
He puts his hands on his hips. I wouldn't call it a hate. Actually, who am I kidding? Yes, I do hate magic that much. It's a scourge on this world. Not to mention, it's dangerous. And have you noticed how haughty all ages end up being? They think they're so great because they can cast a couple of spells. But spells can still be countered. They're not that great. That's why we were so careful to put that mithril core into our golem. Just for all the pesky mages in this kingdom. But London has magic. She can heal people. You realize that medicines accomplish the exact same results, right? And they're probably dozens of times safer than some random animate girl brushing magic light over your wound. Aiden narrows his eyes.
Animan girl.
Don't get me started on the Animan. Conrad continues to ramble mindlessly. It feels like decades we've been at war with that irritating kingdom of Gaia. And of course, instead of throwing in the towel, they just keep resisting us, even after we sink all that money into... However, he quickly cuts himself off and stares at you all in shock. You sly kids, did you just make me monologue?
We didn't make you do anything. But, thanks for all the information.
But you tricked me! Again!
It's not our fault you didn't shut up.
London can't be from Olden. Rex put her hands to his chest in slight relief. She's a mage and an... What did you say, Animan?
And it doesn't sound like you'd ever ally yourself with one. I think we've gotten all the answers we were looking for, gang. That was much easier than I thought.
Conrad fumes as you start to step away. London huffs at him and tosses her hair back at him in contempt. That clears one avenue.
Oh, that's a step in the right direction.
We should head out. You think we just cut across the arena now that it's not being used?
Probably.
Well, it looks cool
kinda
from down
cool.
here.
Same thought. What was he talking about? I'm just saying, your healing magic comes in pretty good handy. He doesn't know what he was saying.
You step out of the arena and glance at one another.
I didn't think he would just talk like that.
Well, this kingdom is not to be underestimated. His ego is less than impressive. I can finally conclude that he's not clever at all. He's just a fool who thinks he's smarter than everyone else.
That's quite the analysis.
Some people are difficult to read, others not so much. However, she places a ginger hand over her mouth to cut herself off. She blushes in embarrassment. I mean, you didn't hear that, she insists.
Right. So what now?
Now, chase the next lead.
Did you write down everything that we just learned, Ashford? I don't know how to take notes. Just focus on your job and I'll focus... I know how to take notes. Just focus on your job and I'll focus on mine. She was just making sure. If we're gonna work with each other, at least try to be nice. Fine, I'm sorry. Old habits die hard.
So the next accusations are Silverwing, Lacrimedict, right?
That's right. I don't know about the Alacrimedic, but I might know how we could cross out a Silverwing.
How?
I'm pretty sure that Fern guy was hanging around the arena earlier. Oh, he was. Do you know where he went? I saw him talking to a couple of university students during the awards ceremony. After the tournament ended, he started to walk in the direction of Waterside through Lavender Terrace. Perfect. Why don't we go have a nice chat with our good friend? Since when was he our friend? It's called sarcasm, Lydia. Oh, that makes more sense.
You promise it'll be just a chat?
I'm not gonna promise anything.
Well, worth a try. Alright then. I swear you people only know how to cause trouble, London murmurs under her breath. Hey, but that's what makes us fun, remember?
Come on, guys. We're gonna figure out this Fern problem.
Still, how are we gonna get him to talk?
I don't know. With a friendly conversation. Very friendly.
Yikes. Where's the university
Hey!
again? It's in the middle, yeah?
Yeah. Still think it was him who did all of this. What? He's mean, unkind, and a menace.
He is pretty mean. I guess it's just refreshing to see you be angry about it too.
Yeah, well, really grinds my gears, you know? Watching him scam people so easily.
Just maybe try to not go violent in public. At least consider it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I hear you. I hear you. Can't promise anything, though.
Said he was going this way, right?
Yeah, and I spy with my little eye something green.
This is gonna go bad.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. Fern!
You find Fern standing outside of the university. He flips through a couple of paper flashcards curiously, and his eyes scan over the words on either side.
Uh-huh.
He mumbles into his hand, which finds itself over his chin.
Alright, so where do I go from here again?
There he is.
He
Ah!
jumps slightly as he looks back up at your group.
Oh, man. Okay, just the people I didn't want to see. Can you leave me alone for 5 seconds? I swear, you're obsessed with me.
Don't be an idiot. You're lucky we're here on business, else you'd be on the ground.
That seems very violent of you.
He stares at Lily, unimpressed.
Yeah, well, yeah, shut up and answer our questions.
And what if I don't?
Then we'll have to make you.
And how are you gonna make me?
I don't know. With force?
No, not with force! London steps in and groans. Ugh, you're all horrible at interrogations.
Oh, is that what this is? For a second, I thought you were just threatening me for fun.
Look, man, I will walk away right now if you just tell me, for certain, that London is in a Silverwing.
Who's a what now?
I know for a fact that you read the article this morning.
Oh!
He nods his head as though he understands.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Are you kidding me?
Lily rushes forward to grab Fern by the collar.
I know that you read it, and I know that you gave that tip to Carly, so just confess so we can...
Hey.
Fern puts his hands up in surrender. He glances towards the doors of the university before looking back at Lily with a confident smirk.
Why don't we take a step back and start from the beginning? After all, you wouldn't want to, security step in for fighting an innocent guy like me, right?
You all glance toward the entrance into the university in order to follow his gaze. You notice a number of guards watching the events unfold. Several of them have focused their attention on the conflict. London grimaces. This is precisely what I was afraid of. Let's just talk, yeah? Lily carefully unhands Fern and takes a step away from him, red in the face. He brushes himself off.
That's better. So, what was it you wanted to know again?
We wanted to know if London Remington was a Silverwing.
Right.
Fern says. He stares at London for a moment before shrugging his shoulders.
Who knows?
You little...
Wow, will you look at the time?
He looks down at an imaginary watch.
Is it really that late already? I've got to get going, travelers. I've got a thing.
What kind of thing?
A very important thing. You wouldn't get it. So, why don't we pick this up later?
But you're not getting away that easily.
It's been fun. Nice talking with you. Bye!
Fern shouts back at you all before rushing off. He looks back down at the flashcard as he leaves.
Come on, where am I going? Oh, right, before this. Okay, I can do that.
You all watch him go in shock, unable to even process what just happened. Lily turns red, much to Lydia's alarm.
Riley, chill out. I swear, I've never even seen you this mad at Dell. Well, yeah, but that guy just really annoys me. Clearly. Just take a minute to catch your breath or something. We have time to rethink our strategy and follow a different lead. I can't just write London off as not being a Silverwing with responses like that.
Ashford
Just
says.
so you know. I'm aware.
What do we do now?
Let's try and focus on something different before Lily pops a blood vessel. What about the edict allegations?
It seems even more complicated. What, we're supposed to go into the wilderness and find that Blythe chick to clear London's name?
Who? Long story. Obviously, you guys can't ask an actual edict member. Ugh, I am not following you into danger again. Aren't all members of the edict dark?
Something like that. They use creepy red books full of dangerous spells. And they can summon these portals that spit out monsters.
So, what if we just prove that London can't do any of that stuff? Yeah, but how do we do that? Magic comes on sort of a spectrum going from light to dark. I remember one time in my magic class, my professor talks about a way to tell if someone either had those energies attached to them.
Rex recalls his last visit to Penelope. She used those braziers to discover if he had light or dark energy attached to him. Maybe she could do that again? I know what you're talking about! I think there's someone who can help. We're gonna need to head over to the magic tower in Aurora Alley. I know someone who can conduct a test to check for that stuff.
That's not too far off from here.
Ashford looks up at the sky to gauge what time it is.
In that case, you all run ahead while I stop by a shop and grab some more ink. Lead the way, Rex. Magic Tower is kind of your thing, not mine.
This test shouldn't hurt, right? I don't think so. Didn't hurt when I did it. Okay.
That little twerp. Knew exactly what he was doing there.
What
Did you see him?
Huh?
Because he knew what he was doing. He didn't want to help. Of course he wouldn't want to help. He's a jerk.
He was looking at a note card. I wonder what that was about.
I don't know, something about stupid directions. Probably have to scam another person.
You need directions for that?
I don't know.
Wait, where am I going?
He's just bad news.
Oh, it's this way. There it is. We just gotta get over there, and we should be golden. Oh, we could have just walked a different... Alright.
It's fine. I'm so frustrated. He's gotta know something.
Ah, tree's so pretty.
Yeah. Purple's nice. Certainly better than green.
You must have a problem with grass. And,
No, grass is fine. It's a good shade of green.
you got
Light
a cloak that might also be problematic.
It's dark green, just like the grass. Those are good colors. Light green, on the other hand, that is evil. Evil, evil, evil.
Hey, Ashford! Ashford stands outside the magic tower. He taps his foot against the brick road impatiently. As you approach, he glances up at you.
There you guys are. You ready yet? How did you get here before us? I thought that you were getting ink. There's a shop in Aurora Alley. How else are these university magic students supposed to take notes?
Oh, that makes sense.
Who did we come here to see exactly?
My magic teacher. She gave me the test that Aiden was talking about before. It shouldn't be that hard for her to replicate it for London.
Oh, gods.
Lydia looks up at the tower.
I can feel my head spinning already. Hopefully she's willing to help us out.
Alright. Penelope! Where is she?
Whoa.
Hmm?
No, it's just cool.
Penelope!
Oh.
You enter the second floor of the magic tower to find a collection of over a dozen students sitting on the ground. They watch Penelope as she strides across the ledge above them. The greatest iridescent scholars of the olden times discovered the magical properties within a magical gemstone called lapis lazuli. Using this stone, an individual can inscribe ancient runes into an object to render it capable of resonating with different magical properties. The combination of runes utilized will produce different enchantments and can be done by Penelope! Rex rushes over the ledge happily. He drags London behind him, who tries to use her veil to hide her face. Could really use your help. Remember that test you ran on me a couple days ago with the metal bowls? Penelope blinks at you in shock and glances behind you at her students. Rex, I'm in the middle of something. What? Okay, this is really important though. You know I wouldn't interrupt if I thought it wasn't important, Rex points out. It'll only take a second, I swear. Penelope massages the bridge of her nose. A number of students look at one another in confusion. Lily feels her own cheeks flush in secondhand embarrassment.
Maybe we should just come back later, Rex. They seem like they're busy.
No way! Rex shakes his head. We need to clear London today. Penelope narrows her eyes. To clear what?
The paper published an article that's trying to ruin Chapel's reputation.
We need to test if London's ever done dark magic to refute the article's arguments! Penelope remains silent as she stares at you all. Rex groans. Look, okay, if you want, I can go up there and do the test myself, but I need all the powders. No! Penelope quickly rushes down from the ledge. There's no need for that. Unity knows I don't want you setting fires in my office unattended. So... Fine, I'll give Miss Remington the test. She grumbles under her breath. You're lucky I don't believe in the Era 1 press or its ridiculous articles.
Hey!
Ashford starts to argue, but the moment that Penelope casts him a haughty gaze, he goes dead quiet. That's what I thought. Penelope hums before looking back at her students. If you'll all just give me a moment, I'll be back as soon as I can.
Thank you, Penelope. We owe you one.
You'd better, she mutters under her breath as she brushes herself off and holds her head high. Miss Remington, everyone else, follow me up to my office.
Office? There's an office up here too? Is there anything this tower doesn't have in it? Lead the way.
Okay.
No, but like Lydia's kind of got a point.
It's
All these
magic
spiral
stuff.
staircases are giving me
Like,
headaches.
look, there's a weird spinning thing. I don't know what that is still.
Is it dangerous?
And look, there are
Ah!
jars.
What happens if one of them falls or breaks if there's an earthquake? Or like, is it dangerous? Dude, I'm not gonna touch any of this.
And there are books. Check this out. It's a
Okay,
painting.
okay.
I don't know of what.
Oh.
And look, they even have flowers.
Okay, flowers are good. There's like glowing things and okay, a little bit of creepy flowers actually.
What creepy? Those are beautiful.
Well, they're pretty, but I don't know what they do.
They're magic flowers.
Oh, wow,
I
lots of
assume.
spinning.
Here's a cool study place that I've seen
Oh,
people
yeah.
study in.
It's kind of cool.
And look.
Mm-hmm.
More flowers, but now there's also grass and trees.
These flowers I like.
How did they get trees up here? Well, they have trees.
Don't know.
I fell asleep on that table. All right.
Oh, okay. What interesting.
We're here, Penelope!
knowledge I needed.
Penelope walks behind her desk to withdraw the same metal braziers she used for Rex's test. She brushes aside a number of stray books and papers to set the braziers before you all. Is this part of the test? London leans over to whisper to Rex. Yep. It's what I did last time. Now she's gonna take out a weird powder. Right on cue, Penelope reaches into the pouches at her hip to sprinkle some multicolored dust in the braziers. And then she's gonna take out her wand. Perhaps you'd like to continue the test yourself, Rex? Penelope asks with an unamused expression. Rex turns red and covers his face. I'm good! I'm great, actually! You keep doing what you're doing. That's what I thought. The woman hums to herself before continuing her work. She takes out her sleek and elegant wand and hovers it over the bowls as she flicks to the tip of the wand over the powder. Ignire. Instantly, both bowls ignite with flames. Aiden's eyes widen in awe.
Whoa.
He mumbles
was
under his
that?
breath.
It was that easy for her to set it on fire? I'll get there one day.
Lydia pats Aiden's head. Penelope motions to the two bowls and pushes them forward toward London, who stares at the fire in fear. You notice that the bowl on the left produces a pure white flame that glitters in the candlelight. The bowl on the right, however, is enveloped in a pitch black fire that seems to give off no light. Now you stick your hand in the fire. What? London snaps her head back at Rex.
Yeah, what?
Lily's eyebrows rise. Don't worry! Rex waves his hands at the two of them. It's not gonna hurt! You're not necessarily the prime example for this test, Penelope explains. Huh? What's that mean? Due to your circumstances, you didn't feel anything in either fire. However, most people report some level of slight discomfort from one of the two braziers, depending on how light or dark they are. London's ears droop as she observes the braziers carefully. So, if I feel discomfort in the darker fire, I will prove that I have no experience with dark magic, correct? That's right, Miss Remington. London hesitates, before stepping forward and hovering her hand over the lighter flame. There's no reaction. She withdraws her hand calmly and then turns to the darker fire. Her tail instantly stands on end and she removes her hand. She rubs it in irritation and shakes her head. I don't like that feeling. Can you describe how it felt? It sent a chill down my spine. It wasn't warm or cold, it was just strange. I see. Penelope nods slowly as she considers London's reply.
So, what does that mean?
It means she's unaccustomed to dark magic. Penelope blows out the fires in the bowls. As expected.
So, she can't have been in the edict.
That's right. The Alakram Edict relies on the darker teachings of the Crimson Rites to gain power. However, her reaction implies that she's never been in contact with the Crimson Rites book, nor has she used the magic commonly found in the Edict. And then when she put her hand on the lighter flame? Animans are naturally lighter creatures, so it's expected that she'd feel comfortable touching that particular flame. Alright, then it's settled! Mission accomplished!
Not quite. You still haven't figured out a way to prove that Miss Remington was not a member of the Silverwings.
Dang it.
Maybe we just have enough evidence to dispute Carly Mercer anyways?
Don't be too sure.
Ashford says. He places his quill behind his ear and takes out the morning's paper.
According to what I've read here, Miss Mercer retains the most evidence towards the Silverwing claim. She points out the valuables within the cathedral and the innate desire of a Silverwing to seek out these valuables for their own monetary gain.
So, what do we do now? Perhaps you can talk about this outside of my office? Penelope raises her eyebrow. Well, I truly wish you luck in your endeavors. I do still have a class waiting for me downstairs.
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
Don't apologize, she shakes her head. Just do not do it again. Do you understand, Rex? I got it. Let's just take this out of the tower, guys.
Don't have to ask me twice.
We have to go down all the spirals.
She definitely is gonna assign me more work next time.
Well, you did barge into her class.
Last time I fell
In
asleep during one of her
session.
lessons, I got that exact same look.
Oh.
And there was one time that I was trying to practice my fire spell and I set half of the tower on fire and it was the same
I was
look.
about to say, she mentioned fire. Like, do you just set things on fire everywhere? Is this a common occurrence?
Okay, well, this gauntlet's not necessarily the easiest thing to wield, Lily. I just make it look good. I do. You have little faith. I'd like to see you swing this thing around.
I do not want to. It looks fine, but... Oh, it looks good.
Alright, game
Need to
plan.
figure this out.
Strategy.
Mhm.
Big thinking. Strong thought. Heavy thought.
Okay, no matter how many times you say it, it doesn't change the fact that we need to.
Well, okay, I'm figuring if I talk about thinking, I'll be able to think. You all step outside of the magic tower and wander over to the center of Aurora Alley. Ashford collapses on the ledge underneath the statue.
So,
He looks up at your group.
what's the plan now?
You're so sure that we can't convince Carly to concede?
Aiden asks Ashford.
No, he's right. There's no way she'll just let this go with what we have.
What are we supposed to do? We did everything we could, and yet...
No, that's not true. We didn't do everything. We still haven't gotten a definitive answer out of Fern.
Miley, you gotta let that one go. Fern's obviously not gonna talk. He found his way out of answering questions before, so he'll no doubt do it again if you try.
Yeah, well, he left the safety of the university. So it's fair game now. Plus, didn't you guys hear what he was muttering about before he left? He's up to something. You've been saying that all day.
Luke rubs the back of his neck.
Yeah, and I haven't been wrong yet. So, what's the problem this time?
I don't know. Rex scratches his head. Maybe there's another way we can prove it to Carly Mercer. A way that doesn't involve violence, or possibly getting arrested.
Rex is right. Don't you remember what happened the last time you tried to beat him up? He hid behind a couple of guards and almost got us in trouble. Yeah, well, if he's really trying to do something illegal, then he won't run to any guards this time. He'll be doing some Silverwing junk.
And that junk could just get him in trouble.
Precisely.
Lydia puts her hands on her hips.
What the heck? If that's the worst you want to do, then fine. I'm in.
Lydia, don't you guys think that we're being a little too hasty? I think we haven't been hasty enough. We wasted the day away instead of catching the real person behind it all. So, let's go get a confession already and finish this. Part of me feels like you're giving Fern too much credit. But I'll go along with whatever you guys want to do.
What about me? What should I do?
You're coming with us, obviously.
But
Ashford stammers in confusion. Miley turns to London and Rex.
What about you guys? Are you in or not?
I don't know. I still think there's something else we could do. Some other way we could prove to the public that London isn't a bad person or a Silverwing.
In that case, why don't you guys try something else while we follow Lily?
Can see what I come up with. Rex gives Lily and her team a thumbs up. Good luck, you guys. Careful out there.
We'll be fine. It's just a single Silverwing.
She looks toward Lavender Terrace.
We'll investigate up there first. He seemed to be going in a particular direction, so maybe we can work at following his trail.
wait, I'm still confused. What's happening?
Ashford asks as he's dragged along behind Lily and her team. Meet you guys at the printing press after this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good luck!
You too. All right, team. We got this.
Alright, let's talk strategy. Different plans, big think, strong think, hard think. They watch Lily go before turning back to London. She rubs her arm and avoids eye contact. Rex, don't you think you've already done enough? It's getting late. You don't have to keep going. Don't be silly. Of course I do. I won't stop until we clear this up for good. She opens her mouth to speak again, but the words get cut off in her throat. She just groans and stares at you as you continue to improvise. Okay, given her last encounter with Fern, it's not a guarantee that Lily will be able to convince him to confess the truth. So I gotta come up with some other way to prove you're not a Silverwing. Please, Rex. Maybe we could use Carly's article to our advantage. She said that there were valuables in the church. So we need to show that you aren't interested in whatever stuff she thinks you're after. In that case, why not give some things to people in need? Robin Hood style. Robin... what? She narrows her eyes. What are you talking about? It means take from the rich and we give to the poor. There's no way that Carly can still call you a Silverwing after that. You'd prove yourself as being entirely kind and caring and selfless. But that's just an illusion. She frowns at you. I wouldn't be doing that of my own accord. I'd be acting to save my image, making the entire scheme ingenuine. Oh, fair point. And bring a hand to your chin before starting to pace anxiously. In that case, what if we go around the entire city and look for a problem to solve? That usually works for me most of the time, so why should today be any different? And then if the public sees you helping someone free of charge, then they'll assume that I'm just doing my job like any other priestess. London completes your sentence. That's how we met, remember? I wouldn't be doing anything new or impressive to anyone. Shoot. Well, come on, there's gotta be something. Rex. The priestess walks forward and takes both of your hands to stop you in your tracks. It's all right. I'm fine. You don't have to keep doing any of this. Yes, I do! You insist as you pull your hands out of her grip. She stares at you in surprise. But why? Because you shouldn't have to deal with this! It's not anything new. It doesn't bother me to know that people don't trust me. In fact, I don't really care about it. I promise I'm okay. You grit your teeth. That's not right. It's not your burden to bear. It doesn't matter. It does matter! I don't think you're bad, London! I think you're great! If only people could see you the way I see you... You suddenly pause as you look at London's face. It's almost unnoticeable, but you see her eyes grow misty as she stares off to the side. Your chest aches. I mean... You quickly shake your head. I'm saying the facts, that's all. Whoever sent out that anonymous tip, whether it's Fern or someone else, is a big... dumb... dummy! Yeah, that's it! You weakly insult the offender. London wipes her eyes with a light-hearted chuckle. Well, I appreciate your noble gesture. I don't need you to get angry on my account. Just seems unfair. She stares at you for a moment before she sighs. Rex, follow me. Hmm? You blink at her in confusion. She takes your hand. Let's talk somewhere else. There's something I want to show you. Oh, all right then. Lead the way. What just happened? Why doesn't she care? And I'd care. I think I do care. Why doesn't she? It's a pretty out-of-the-way thing she's trying to show me. Oh, this place. It's been a bit since I've been here. Huh? That's a lot of branches. You stare at the tranquil pond of Waterside Grove. The sounds of the distant waterfall echo to your left, and the branches far above you and the giant looming tree rustle and sway. London takes a long breath of fresh air. She rests her elbows on the railing to lean over the edge and observe all the sights and sounds. What is this place? My favorite part of Erowyn. She allows that explanation to hang in silence between the two of you, as a couple of frogs rivet from the waters below, and a dragonfly rushes by your ears. Her tail flicks. When I first came here, I thought the kingdom was too busy for my liking. It felt so claustrophobic. I couldn't breathe for the first couple of days I stayed here. She closes her eyes. But then I found this place, and I immediately felt at ease. Now, whenever I need to get away from my responsibilities and troubles, or when it all becomes too much for me to handle, I come out here to catch my breath and clear my head. The nature is familiar to me. She straightens up quickly and clears her throat. But that's not the point right now. So why'd you bring me here? Because if this place helps me, I thought maybe it would help you too. She turns to you with a gentle smile. You seem more stressed about this article than I am. You've been working hard to redeem me all day. Oh, that article is full of lies. Other people need to see that. Maybe. But even if you prove the accusation's false, what will that accomplish? You narrow your eyes. What do you mean by that? Do you think this is the first time that I've had to deal with people like this, Rex? You mean it's not? She shakes her head. No, it's not. Feeling like you don't quite belong is something I've had to deal with my whole life. Everywhere I turn, I always manage to find someone who doesn't trust me or even like me. But I don't let it get to me. She places her hand on your shoulder. Winning this fight isn't going to magically make people trust me. They have every right to question me. As Carly Mercer said, my story's anything but solid. Where did you come from, London? Where were you before Erowyn? I can't say. Why not? Because... She starts to speak before cutting herself up. She purses her lips and struggles to find the right words to say. She pulls her hand away. Because I don't want to talk about it. But you could change everyone's minds if you did. She shakes her head. I'm certain that explaining myself would only make matters worse. Where I come from, well, let's just say there's a reason I chose to become a priestess in the first place. She looks down. There are things I don't want to revisit. You're running from something, aren't you? She doesn't respond. My point is, Rex, I am fine where I am, and I don't care what anyone in Erowyn thinks of me. She brings her hand to her heart carefully. I don't let their words bother me, and neither should you. Yeah, but I just want to help you. That alone is enough. You're bending over backward to defend me. There's a very small list of people who would do that for me nowadays. London places her hands behind her back and walks past you casually. You're a good person, Rex. Certainly a better person than... It is beautiful out here. I can see why you like it. She shakes her head and heaves a sigh. Yes. It's beautiful. She agrees. They both look out toward the pond once more quietly, before London puts an end to the silence. So, what now? I thought you said it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't, she agrees. But at the same time, I know you've put in too much effort to completely give up now. She puts her hands on her hips. Besides, Lily's still out there, isn't she? She's probably continuing her manhunt for the Silverwing as we speak. Hopefully they're doing it okay. I'm sure they are. She nods her head happily. Why don't we head back to Astrocentrum Main Square to wait on them? I recognize the glint in Lily's eyes. I doubt she'll return to the printing press empty-handed. Yeah, Lily can be pretty scary when she gets her sights locked on someone. In that case, it'd be best not to keep them waiting. She turns her back to you and walks toward the square. Come on, Rex. You begin to walk after her. There's still an unfamiliar pain that aches in your chest. Your mind wanders back to the priestess from earlier that day. Her tone when you mentioned London, just how many people dislike her, even without the article making things worse. Is this really how London lives? You try to shake off the feeling and follow her back towards Astrocentrum. Alright, let's go. I don't hear Lily shouting in the distance, so maybe it went okay. Hopefully she found him again. Let's see. Is she anywhere around here yet? She is! Hey!
Hey,
How'd it go?
good.
What, really?
We got him to confirm it.
What?
That, London's not a silver ring. In so many words.
Really? That's crazy. What? How? What?
Well, we had a friendly chat.
Well, we should go have a friendly chat with Mercer. What are we waiting for?
You're right. Mercer!
Where is she? Does she have like an officer? You all enter the printing press confidently. Many of the workers have gone home for the day. Evelyn is packing up her things at the front desk when you appear.
You're back.
She comments to Ashford.
We need to talk to Miss Mercer. Is she still here? She's in her office?
Evelyn nods toward the door.
Thanks, Evelyn. Don't mention it. Just try to deflate her ego a bit if you can. She's been laughing to herself in her office all day. It's starting to really freak me out. That's not unsettling at all. No doubt she was reveling in her victory or whatever. We'll take care of it.
You all approach the door and raise a hand to knock. However, before you can even make contact with the door, it bursts open, and Carly Mercer herself stands on the other side.
Well, look who's here. You've been gone all day. Are you ready to admit defeat? In your dreams. Oh, I can't imagine a world where you managed to counter my research and evidence. Well, you shouldn't have had such little faith in your reporters, Miss Mercer.
Ashford states as he hands her his clipboard.
The travelers managed to unravel all of your arguments. That's not possible.
And why don't you read it and weep, huh? We nailed this investigation! She exhales as though your efforts are entirely boring to her. She flips through the clipboard mindlessly as she reads Ashford's notes. You notice her expression slowly start to shift as she continues.
What is this? It's the evidence we found to refute your claims. You must be joking. No jokes. Everything we found today proves that London Remington is not part of any of the organizations you listed. But how can you be so certain she wasn't from Olden? That kingdom is massive.
That's true, but Olden also hates magic and Animan.
So they'd hate London. Why would Olden want to have her as an ally if she has two traits that they despise?
Carly's jaw tightens.
Then what about the Alacrum Edict? Surely you couldn't easily find some cultist to deny the claims.
That's true, we couldn't. But I know a certain magic teacher who can test whether someone has ever used dark magic before. And that test came back with a big fat negative!
All of our notes on those two interviews should be on that clipboard. And then what about the Silverwings? You know, I was convinced that the tip came from the Silverwings to begin with, but I was wrong. I don't know where your tip came from, but I do know that a Silverwing admitted to us that he's never worked with London Remington.
Carly stammers and stumbles over her words quietly.
But you...
Checkmate! Looks like we're the ones who did our research this time. High five.
I think you owe High Priestess Reyna Windenberg and London Remington a formal apology.
Who are you to tell me what to do, Aaron?
Carly narrows her eyes.
As a reporter, it's in your best interest to clear your name as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll publish the findings myself.
You wouldn't. Heck yeah, you would.
Carly grits her teeth and grimaces. Ashford starts to reach out toward the clipboard to take it from her, but she snatches it away.
Don't. Ah. You've proven your point once again, travelers. Fine. I'll take back the article and publish the new one to restore the chapel's reputation.
And what do you have to say to London? Carly stares at London for a moment.
I apologize, High Priestess in training.
You have no need to apologize. You're right to be skeptical of my background, Miss Mercer. However, if you have any questions, I'd prefer you bring them to me or Reyna individually, rather than sending your beliefs out into the public eye. I'd hate to see what this mistake could do to your career, after all. It could be unfortunate if your lies and your lack of propriety led to a decrease in viewership. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should be returning to the Cathedral of Unity to inform Reyna of these events, London says. Before she leaves, she smiles to you all. Her eyes meet Rex's gaze, and she mouths the words, "Thank you." Rex smiles at her. Today wasn't too bad, right? Maybe could try something more low-key next time, though. That sounds nice. I look forward to it. London slowly leaves the room. She holds her head high proudly as she departs. Carly grumbles and complains as she walks back into her office and slams the door behind her. Lily can't help but beam at her temper tantrum. Ashford stretches his arms.
And that's a wrap. This is the third day I had to work overtime. You're lucky I'm a great person who's willing to sacrifice his precious time for your cause.
Don't get ahead of yourself. You're all right, at most.
Hopefully I'll see you guys around. You certainly know how to make headlines. I wouldn't mind following a couple more of your adventures just for that.
Ashford is next to leave the printing press. You all glance at one another as victory starts to sink in. However, Rex's stomach still feels tight with unease.
At least that's over with.
Yeah.
That felt so good.
Putting her in her place? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Almost
just
as good as when I quit.
Still confused about some things.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Look, we
yeah.
did good today. You did good today.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna head out. I'll
All
catch you around, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Have a good night, Lily.
You too. Bye.
Who gave the tip? That many people really don't like her. But I helped her, I guess, right? Why don't I feel like I did? I know what I need to do. There's just too much going on. So there's Olden, the Lacrim Edict, the Silverwings. You gotta get back to Ren. And Vincent's always gonna be breathing down my neck. We have to solve the awakening. Why is there so much? This past while I spent in the city, it just feels like more things keep cropping up at every turn. Crap. You're thinking, Rex. Stop it. I'm gonna get someone else to think for me. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. You wander through the cathedral. Your mind is elsewhere as you make it to the steps before the rows of pews, in which the choir normally stands. You glance around the empty chapel curiously. It's so late, you don't immediately see anyone in sight. You stare up at the Unity statue that towers over the chapel. Your gaze makes its way up to the statue's face. It has no eyes, but even without them, you can feel the statue looking at you. You groan, exasperated. This entire day has been stressful. It's difficult for you even now to fully articulate your feelings. But maybe you still have time to ask for some advice. Where is she? You look to your left and right. High Priestess Reyna should know what to do, right? If you can just find her. She's got to have something to say on the matter. However, no matter how many times you gaze around the chapel, can't see her. You pause as your mind reaches back to your encounter with London earlier. Confessionals are good for advice, right? Maybe you should check those out. Unity. Okay, so she said go into the confessional and then talk. And that's how help me, right? I confess, and then they'll help me through my day-to-day life. Alright, easy. Okay. You adjust yourself in the confessional seat awkwardly. You roll up your sleeves and fix your hair as though you need to keep up a formal and tidy appearance. You clear your throat, and your eyes avoid looking past the bars into the other confessional. Oh boy. I don't know what I'm supposed to do this. Sorry if I'm not sure what to say. You gulp and take a long breath before exhaling to calm your nerves. I could just really use some divine wisdom. You continue. There's a lot of stuff going on lately. I mean, a lot of stuff. With all the new monsters, the weird ruins, the Arkham Edict, and those guys from Olden. I don't know how to deal with it all. Don't get me wrong, I think it's awesome that I can go on all sorts of adventures like this. But things have gotten so complicated that I feel like I haven't learned what I'm supposed to do next. I'm no expert with Unity, or with whatever gods exist in this world, but if any of them have some advice that you know about, or if they have knowledge on what I'm supposed to do next, that would be great. I just need someone to talk to, and someone to tell me what I should be doing here. You look down at your hands and fidget with your thumbs. I hate feeling lost. And I hate feeling helpless. I'm watching the people around me struggle, and when I can't do anything about it, it makes me feel like I'm... You blink as you find the word you were looking for. Suffocating. You sigh and shake your head before continuing to speak. So, if there's anything I can... However, before you finish your sentence, you hear a door open from the other stall. Your eyes widen in surprise as you glance toward the bars, and you see a figure sit down for the first time. Were you seriously just talking to yourself this entire time? Or was no one even in there before? You facepalm in embarrassment before you try to remember what you even said in the first place. You'll have to start from the top again. The voice in the other stall speaks up. Looks like that didn't work out. You pause in confusion. That doesn't sound like the voice of a priestess. You can't see any of the figure's features past the bars, though. So, how are we gonna take care of the Remington girl? What? You feel your heart sink into your stomach. A cold sweat washes over you as time seems to slow down. You can hear your own heartbeat as the voice on the other end goes silent. And you feel a pair of eyes slowly turn to look into your own. Crap. Before you can even react, the shadowy figure kicks the door to the confessional open and rushes out without another word. But hey! Who? Get back here! Hey! What? Who was that? Hello? Take care of London. London. No. Crap. London! London! Don't, no! Ugh!
Rex, do you have any idea what time it is? What are you?
London's in danger.
What?
answer.